Started as soon as I admit a few more people. All right, again, good evening, all, and welcome to the March 2026 ANC3C monthly public meeting. We will get started right away here with the establishment of a quorum. So 3C08,
I'm here.
3C07 is
Here.
here, 3C06,
Here.
3C05,
Here.
3C04.
Here.
3C03 is myself, and I'm here. 3C02
Here.
and 3C01.
Here.
All right. Quorum is established. 8 of 8 commissioners are here. I can verify that this meeting was noticed via our website, several listservs, and our newsletter. We will move ahead to the approval of the agenda and the items on the consent calendar that would be approved with the approval of the agenda. Does anyone have any changes they'd like to make to the agenda at this time or the consent calendar? Commissioner Kripke.
Just a clarification, the agenda items that I nominated, which are to approve the grants or to, I don't have a resolution that I've drawn up. So I thought that I'm not sure a resolution is necessary if we discuss it and then vote on approving the grants. So I hope that's okay. I want to check on that.
I agree with you, especially since they are making us attest, i.e., like sign the meeting minutes where it's recorded that we discussed and voted on the grant. I think that's a bit belt and suspenders, especially because the information, like the details of the grant that we just regurgitate in the resolution,
Right.
it just seems unnecessary. So I'm fine with moving forward unless any other commissioner is uncomfortable and thinks we need to belt and suspender with a resolution or a letter. Okay. Hearing and seeing none. Any other changes or clarifications or anything to the agenda? If Commissioner Prinzo.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to stipulate that I know I'm aware that we did receive a letter from Historic DuPont Circle Main Streets regarding the one item about the Woodley Park Main Street savings account on our agenda. I have records from the previous Woodley Park Main Streets director that directly contradict what that letter stated. So I still think we should, if it's okay with everybody, go ahead and vote on that.
Okay. So reading off the items on the consent calendar that would be approved with the approval of the agenda and these items is the approval of the February 2026 meeting minutes, a letter to DPW regarding snow removal, a letter to DSLBD regarding the Woodley Park Main Streets program, and a letter in support of Woodley Park Day, which is scheduled to be held Saturday, September 19th, 2026. Commissioner Prinzo, I have no problem with moving the letter that we have on consent forward on consent. Any other commissioners wish to pull it off consent to discuss at all? Or you're comfortable approving it? Okay, hearing and seeing none. All those in favor of the items I just read off on the consent calendar being approved, as well as the agenda to move tonight's meeting forward, raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
All right, I see all the hands in
Yes.
Commissioner Renzo as a yes. Okay, so we will move forward, and those items that I just read off are approved with no further discussion. All right, we'll move into announcements, starting with single member district reports. 3C01, do you have a single member district report for us this evening?
No, all good.
Okay, 3C02. Single member district report, yes or no? Okay, put a pin in you. So 3C03, I will just report that the National Zoo has announced that the baby elephant will be on display to full public on April 22nd. We're also kicking into high gear with, we're going to start seeing a lot more tour buses in the area. So I know that MPD is here to help if any of those are not parked in legal positions. And you want to report those to 311 via the app or by calling. And I believe that is it for my single member district. Oh, and the zoo loop, that trail, the zoo's extended hours just started this week, so that trail gets extended by that extra hour and a half, I believe, hour that the zoo is open till, so it closes 1 hour after the zoo closes. Commissioner Kripke. Oh, you're on mute.
Apologies. Have we confirmed that the trail? This is I think you're referring to the Rock Creek Trail, the bypass loop, and I know I had some complaints about that last week. Have we confirmed that that's going to stay open till their later hours?
Yes, that's what they've been doing every year. And
Okay.
it can like because they change their hours, it's always open that like 1 hour after their closing time.
Okay. Great. I hope that's true. I'm going to be following that up.
Okay. It's just they started 1 week after we changed the clocks, where some people are like, what's going on here? That's where that overlap of schedule isn't entirely
Right.
intuitive.
Right.
Okay. 3CO2, did you have a single member district report? I saw you came back on.
No.
Okay. 3CO4,
Not this time.
3CO5,
Not for me.
3CO6,
The UPS store in Sam's Park and Shop is coming along really well. Construction looks like it's pretty much wrapped up, so hope they're going to be opening soon. Maybe Cassandra can fill us in when we get to her. Also, I saw some folks moving into the former site of Mr. Chen's, so hope to see some activity there in the near future. Thanks.
super. 3CO8.
I don't know a specific report this time.
Okay. We will then move on to committee reports, starting with safe, sustainable, and equitable transportation.
We did not meet in March. TBD on an April meeting.
Okay, transparency and public process,
We didn't meet.
community engagement and grants.
Let's see. We did meet. We're going to consider the grants that we discussed in our meeting today. I don't have any grants lined up, although a few commissioners have mentioned things to me. So do forward those along if you think you have a grant. Let's get a grant meeting scheduled for it. But I don't currently have a pipeline of any grants for the committee at the moment.
Okay, planning, zoning, housing, and economic development. We also did not meet this month, and TBD if we will be meeting in April. We would put that agenda out if we're going to have it a week before the scheduled date, which is the first Monday of the month. And if we cancel it, we will also cancel it on our website, which is posted on. So we will either confirm or cancel. And I'm expecting all of the commissioners will either produce, all of the chairs of these committees will either produce an agenda a week before the meeting is scheduled or let us know to cancel it on the website. So I'd ask the committee chair, I'm asking the committee chairs to please be mindful of doing that. Residential historic preservation.
It's been a recent quiet period in the Cleveland Park and Woodley Park historic districts, so there have been no applications to consider. My sense is that ripe applications will probably pick up as we go into the spring.
Right. And another thing to note is BZA currently doesn't have a quorum, so they can't meet, and all their meetings have been pushed till at least May. The mayor hasn't nominated anybody to fill those seats, so they need at least three. They only currently have two members. So we're seeing a lot of these applications push further afield. Um, and just to note that for the community and like the commissioners who don't realize like BZA is kind of not fully there.
I didn't
Um,
know that. That seems like it could be a problem.
yeah, it is that one could have foreseen happening, but here we are. All right, environmental justice.
We haven't had meetings recently, but I mentioned that this at our last meeting, but I want to reiterate that the ANC Environmental Justice Committee has joined up with the Cleveland Park Library, and we are currently operating a art contest and inviting people, mostly kids, to submit art that in the shape of a bookmark to celebrate Earth Day. And there are forms down at the library, or you can find them online and make some art, and the Earth Day themed art. And we're convening a panel of judges, which includes local notables, like the head of the Tragorian Conservancy and the documentary filmmaker who made City of Trees about DC. And that panel will meet to look at the art submissions and pick one. And we will have we will print up a bunch of these Earth Day bookmarks with the library and have them available. We'll have an event on April 18th at the library to celebrate and to announce the winner. So I'll send out more information on this shortly, but just to know that the contest is on. There's a box for submissions and some forms at the library if you feel like doing it, or if you have kids, go by the library and fill out a bookmark. And it's a fun little thing that we're doing with for Earth Day with the library.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Prinzo and then Commissioner Bose.
I just wanted to say, if you have a link, if you could send it to me, I can add it to our website and newsletter if you want.
Oh, great. I'll send it to you right away.
Yeah, Commissioner Kripke, along the same lines, I was going to ask if you had any kind of posters or flyers or anything that we could distribute around the neighborhood. Sounds like a really cool initiative. And then also wanted to ask if the contest is only available to children in Cleveland Park, or if we're casting a wider net.
There's no geographic limit, although of course we encourage local kids, and we're trying to work with the local schools to get kids to submit. Also, there's no age limit. Anyone can submit it. Jay, if you want to submit a bookmark.
I'll leave it to the kids. I'm not that artistic.
And I have one flyer which I'll send to you. It's not that graphically interesting, but we have a committee member who's trying to do some social media stuff, which I'll send around to folks for that.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm happy to run down to the OANC copy machine and run off some copies if there's a need and a want for those.
Thanks. We're mostly just making the copies at the library, and it works out pretty good.
Okay, cool. All right. I'm gonna flip the last two around for a reason. The virtual hybrid task force updates.
Yes, we are all set up and ready to go for our April meeting. So April 20th, come see us at the Cleveland Park Library. We've got the lower level conference room booked starting at 6:30 p.m. And thank you to Commissioner Prinzo for all the help getting the equipment secured.
Great. It's going to be exciting. I'm already nervous. Thank you for working on that, though. All right, so I'm left Public Safety Committee update for last because I know MPD is also here so that they can also make any announcements and any community questions or commissioner questions they have for MPD combined in a cohesive segment, if you will.
So Public Safety Commission did not meet this month in lieu of a report from MPD at this ANC meeting. And I noticed that Lieutenant Paul Johnson's joined. So when we get to that portion of the meeting, look forward to his report.
Well, we're at that portion now.
Okay, so without further ado, Lieutenant Paul Johnson is going to report on behalf of PSAs 203 and 204, which comprise the area that is ANC3C. And Lieutenant Johnson joins us regularly at the Public Safety Commission meetings, which often with his colleagues, and it's a great opportunity for the community to join and hear not only MPD's report, but to engage with MPD on questions and other topics that come up. Today, he's reporting at the ANC and is available to answer questions from the community. So, Lieutenant Johnson.
Hello, everyone. It's Lieutenant Johnson from 2D 2nd District, PSA 204, which includes a portion of ANC3C. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm a little under the weather, so hopefully you can understand me, you can hear me. We have...
I can hear you fine and appreciate your joining.
Thanks for having me. This month, we have 33 crimes to report. We have no ADWs, no robberies, no homicides, no real Part 1 offenses, no violent crimes to report in AC3C in the last 30 days, which is awesome. We had 29 thefts. 18 of those 29 thefts were from the CVS in Woodley Park. We had 18 from that CVS. So out of the 29, 18 was from that one CVS. We're trying to get that under control, working with the CVS, their security, and we're going to have our crime suppression team do some operations in there to try to get those thefts down. We want to keep that CVS open. We had 3 motor vehicle thefts. 2 were in PSA 203, and 1 was in Woodley Park. The one that was in Woodley Park was on Calvert Street. And we had 1 motor vehicle theft from 3100 block of Quebec Street in 203, and 3800 block of Porter Street. I'm sorry, 3400 block of Porter Street in 203. And other than that, we had 1 theft from auto. So we're doing pretty good as far as the crimes go. Just property crimes report this month. Also, in light of the things going on in Iran, we have our civil disturbance units deployed in all 3 tours per Chief Carroll. So we have units ready to respond if anything happens in DC that's unfortunate. So we have all 3 tours covered by our civil disturbance units around the clock in preparedness. Any questions about anything going on in ANC3C that I can answer? I believe Captain Hatch is supposed to be on here too. I don't know if he made it or not. I know he was busy. He called me earlier and said he may make it, he may not. I don't see him on the
I don't see him on the list either. And
yeah, he's the watchman of the night at 2D,
yeah.
so he may be on something right now.
Well, and given the uncertain weather conditions, we wondered if that might affect work tonight. I guess I'll go first. Lieutenant, I was wondering if you could speak to the incident in an ATM on Connecticut Avenue in Cleveland Park several weeks ago, where someone was accosted and while using the ATM, and various people gave chase. I don't think the person was found or identified. I was wondering if NPD has made any progress in locating that individual, and then also if you can speak to whether there was any progress on an investigation of the hit and run at Porter Street and 34th now several months back.
Okay, in reference to the ATM robbery, like you reported, there's no updates on that as of yet. According to the detective's office, they're still in an investigation. And the hit and run, I'll have to get back with you on that one. What's the address of that again?
I don't have the address right here. I can send it to you.
Yeah, please email me.
That was where a minor was hit at the
I recall that. Yep.
Northeast corner, of Porter Street at 34th Street, and was bounced up onto the hood of the car. Miraculously didn't sustain injuries, but the driver, for whatever reason,
yelled at the person. I remember. Yeah. Yep. Please email me that, and I get to CC numbers and check with the hit and run coordinator at 2D.
Okay.
I'm sure that should be closed at this point. They should have some kind of resolution at this point. But I'll confirm that for you and email you back.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Bose?
Thank you. Lieutenant Johnson, appreciate your time tonight. Thanks for coming and talking to us. Had a couple of questions on behalf of the Tenants Association over at the Quebec House Apartments on 2800 Quebec Street. They had questions about they have a resident who suspects that there's possible illegal occupancy in their building. It seems to be a possibility that there are domestic disputes going on in one of the units, and somebody who is maybe squatting. They called 911 some time ago, but I think never heard back. Who can I speak with about this?
Well, that would be Lieutenant Bobette Forrest.
Okay.
Forrest,
Would you be
yep,
able to pass along their contact info?
yep. I'll put it in the chat right now. She's
Perfect.
at WSPSA 203 Quebec Street. Yes.
Okay. Really appreciate that. And
Yep.
then another,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
um, that's helpful. And then another one, same building, there's disturbances related to residents who seem to be having some kind of mental health issues, screaming in the middle of the night, that sort of thing. Is that you all, or is there another department in the city that we should be talking to about that one?
Please call 911 and we'll respond out. And if we need to call DBH, Department of Mental Health, we will. So please always call 911 any kind of disturbance going on in your building. But we'll come
Yeah,
out.
so sorry, go ahead.
But DBH will come out if it's something like like you say now, loud noise, something non-criminal. But they don't work 24 hours, so we always respond no matter what time of the night or day.
So I'm reading my email now, and they're saying that they had reached out to DBH some time ago, and same thing. They got uh, kind of a offhand response about doing a checkup of some sort, but this has apparently been happening for quite a while now. I think whatever DBH told them probably wasn't satisfactory. Is there some way to escalate?
Well, DBH will have to like you say, work with the social workers and DBH and courts. I'm sure they have their thresholds when they escalate. So it has to meet a certain threshold before they can get someone, evicted or under 24-hour care. Sound like this
Okay,
person may need to be monitored for 24 hours or get into another, group home or something instead of, living by himself or herself.
got it. I'll pass that along. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Littauer added a question to the chat and said, thank you for your help with CVS theft in Woodley Park. What efforts can be made / are being made to reduce theft? Thank you for your help.
And we always work with CVS. We talk to their management about, providing security and hopefully change their policy. They call the police after the person's already left the store. It's not very helpful. We do have a foot beat right there in that block that sits in front of the CVS. Well, it's for the whole block, not just CVS, the foot beat officer, to be fair, but we try to spend more time in that CVS to deter crime and prevent thefts. And we also have our crime suppression team who does operations when they can in that CVS.
Okay,
So
thank you.
hopefully we're going to try to get that down from 18 thefts. That's a bit much in 1 month for one location.
All right, any other commissioners have questions? All right, anyone in the audience have questions? You can raise your virtual hand or come on camera and raise your real live hand. Cassandra, are you coming on to ask a question or no question? Okay. All right. Anyone else before we let Lieutenant Johnson get back to resting so he feels better sooner than later? All right. Hearing and seeing none. Thank you again for your time and service, Lieutenant Johnson. Appreciate it.
All right, great seeing everybody. Everybody be safe, and I'll talk to you in the near future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
I
bye-bye.
feel better soon.
Thank you.
All right. Spectacular. Continuing on with announcements, we will move to mayor, council, agency, and community organizations, starting with the mayor's office.
Hi, everyone. My name is William Owen Cox. I'm the Ward 3 liaison for the mayor's office. Just two quick announcements. First, at the end of this month, Friday, March 27th, I will be hosting office hours from 3 to 5 p.m. at the Cleveland Park Library. Second, the mayor's 10th annual spring cleanup will take place at Guy Mason Recreation Center on Saturday, April 25th at 10 a.m. If you want to come out and help us give the center a nice cleaning, please come out, and we look forward to seeing you there. Thank you. Unless there's any other questions, that's all for me.
Any questions? All right. Hearing and seeing none. Moving right along to the council member's office. Trisha, what do you have for us this evening?
Hey everyone, I also have just two updates for you. First is about the budget. The fiscal year 2027 budget process will officially begin on April 1st, when Mayor Bowser will transmit her proposed budget to the council. Committees will hold budget hearings from April 6th through April 30th, and the Committee of the Whole will meet on May 1st for a public hearing on the overall budget. The first vote on the budget is scheduled for May 27th, and the second and final vote on the budget is scheduled for June 10th. These dates and hearings will be posted on the DC Council website. And second, our team's next workday in the ward will be held in Spring Valley at Compass Coffee, which is at 4850 Massachusetts Avenue Northwest, on Thursday, March 26th. Councilmember Freeman will be there to meet with residents from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. And members of our Ward 3 office staff will be available to meet with residents throughout the day. The staff schedule and event information is posted on our website under the Events tab. Representatives from district agencies will also attend at scheduled times to meet directly with residents. The final schedule of agency attendees will also be shared on that page closer to the event date, so stay tuned. And to help accommodate attendees, residents are being asked to complete our online sign-in form, which is also under the events tab on our website, to reserve a spot at Workday in the Ward. But reservations are not required, and walk-ins will still be welcomed. And that is all I have.
All right, thank you. Any questions? All right, hearing and seeing none, we will move along to any agencies that are here, which I don't think I see any. And now community organizations. Cassandra, what do you have for us?
Thank you, Janelle. To answer your question, Jay, yes, UPS is open. They have their soft opening on March 11th. They're going to schedule a real grand opening in the next couple of weeks. Stay tuned for that. Street Lawyer Dispensary is planning to open in April, as well as And Club Soda, which is on the end where St. Arnold's was. He's also hoping to open next month. This Saturday on the promenade, one of the makers from Femme Fatale is going to have an outdoor market called Empower Her. We've got Rock the Block Cherry Blossom Jam by School of Rock next Sunday, March 29th, 4 o'clock. On Saturday, April 4th, Carpe Librum, the Turning the Page people are going to be doing a used used book sale on the promenade. And everyone is invited Thursday, April 9th to Cleveland Park Main Street 6th anniversary party. And then last but not least, Cleveland Park Day is coming up in June. Soon we'll have applications open for the Cleveland Park Talent Show for humans and pets. So follow Cleveland Park Main Street on Instagram. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me. Thank you.
Super, thank you. Any questions? All right, hearing and seeing none. I don't think I see anyone here from the Woodley Park Main Street. All right. That concludes the announcements portion of this meeting. We'll now move on to the community forum portion of the meeting where members of the public are invited to ask questions and raise concerns about issues that are not otherwise on this agenda. We just ask that you limit your time to 1 or 2 minutes. Anyone have anything for community forum this evening? You can raise your virtual hand or come on screen and raise your real hand. All right. Hearing and seeing none, we will move along to the commission business portion of our meeting, and we will start out with, just want to make sure Stella said she could join. There's Stella. Okay. We're going to start out with a discussion and vote. Well, discussion and vote on whether or not we approve a grant, which we'll introduce this and then we'll go through some procedural changes. A grant of $4,935 to Green Spaces for DC for Cleveland Park Community Tree Engagement Series. So Commissioner Kripke, if you want to move this, we'll get a second and then we'll go through my proposed change to grant versus direct expense. But oh, you're on mute.
Just a brief introduction. We received a grant from Capital Nature, which is a project that works in neighborhoods on different environmental education and volunteer projects to do a sort of an educational series and series of trainings in our neighborhood from one of our local residents, Stella Tarney, who's been doing a lot of volunteer work around the neighborhood in support of street trees. So we considered this at our last grants meeting and had Stella presented. She has submitted a grant proposal. It's a bit complicated because the grant recipient would be a different NGO that's a fiscal sponsor for Capital Nature, which is a project. And the long and the short of it is it did not pass OANC review. So the lawyers down in this OANC have raised objections to the grant. And so that's the situation we're in. Although the project itself, there's no objection to the project. The project itself is cool. So that's the situation we're in. We still have this on the agenda because I would like to figure out a way of moving ahead on this, but as it sits, it runs into trouble with OANC. So I'll stop there and see if you want. Well, I guess I want to move the question or bring up the agenda item.
Second.
Thank you. But how to proceed from here, I think, is up for discussion.
Okay, so the motion has been moved and seconded to open this up for discussion. My proposal to be able to fund the project as it is proposed is to, instead of funding it as a grant, we fund it as a direct expense. The ANC, is allowed to hire consultants, contractors, things of that like directly to provide services to the ANC. And that should, unless I'm missing something, include things like honorariums for speakers to provide educational series that benefit the community writ large. And I don't know that anyone on this commission or in this community would argue that street trees do not provide benefit to the community at large. So meeting those thresholds where instead of the grant application, we're just going to ask for these for basically what's already been itemized on that grant application for the educational series and what they entail to be put onto an invoice, and we just pay the invoice as the direct expense, which we've budgeted, and this is going to come up in the treasurer's report. We've budgeted a significant amount of money for direct expenses this fiscal year and have made very little progress in funding things via grants or direct expenses. I know we're all in agreement with this money's not doing our community any good sitting in the bank account, and that we want to do our best to not continue just having it collect interest, which it does. So that is what I'm proposing we do to fund direct expenses. We've already approved it in our budget, so we would just need to vote on the amount in this meeting. And then once we spend it, vote and approve and record in the minutes that we've done these things, that we've recorded it as spent as a direct expense once the check is cashed as well. So it's kind of a two vote thing. Do commissioners have any questions on the back end technicalities of what I'm proposing here?
I just have one question, if I may. Was the sort of contemplated period of performance of the grant, is that the same as what it would be for the doing this as a direct sort of contracting or procurement expense?
I'm sorry. I don't
In other words,
remember if I'm
was
just
the grant supposed to be, the work under the grant supposed to be one event and done, or was it over a period of time? And is this the same?
Commissioner Kripp.
I think the idea here, and tell me if I'm misinterpreting it, but there's sort of a work plan under the grant, which was a series of events, guest speakers and trainings. I forget the number, and if Stella's here, she could actually clarify. I think it was about 4 or 5 different events. Some of them at the library, maybe most of them at the library was the intention. And so the idea would be just to convert that into sort of an invoiced program that we would pay directly rather than as a grant. And it would go on, it presumably would go on for several months. That was, I think, the idea.
And I could add one piece of it, and thank you all for considering this throughout all the bureaucratic structures. I'm probably proposing to deliver this at about 60% in-kind services, because what I propose in the grant and what I will honor if we do this in a fee structure, is to do it at a rate that basically ends up being at about 60% in kind. And I did this because I was trying to keep within a certain limit, and I also want to make sure that it happens. So that might also be an answer to the question.
Thank you, Stella. Commissioner Nash, did that answer your question?
It does. And if I could just ask one follow-up question, because I want to really see this happen. Can we do this basically as a sole source procurement, or is this something that we'd have to do? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We don't have to get any other bids. This is, I have that in an email, sir. So, and by the way, to be clear about like our punishment, if we did fund this as a grant, they would just withhold that amount of funds from our next disbursement. But at this point, if we can't get these disbursements out, but the direct expense route seems to have less of these restrictions OANC feels like that they can put on us for all these things. So that's why this seems like it's the more logical path for this procuring this type of service. Commissioner Miles.
Just so I understand it, effectively, if they withhold, we're paying twice. Or it costs twice as much, right? Like we're paying and then they're withholding that, so that the impact on the budget would be like if it's $1,000, the cost to us is $2,000.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And it goes into a general fund that they use for funding other things in OANC's purview, which hopefully is not more lawyers to do more things. Sorry. Okay. Commissioner Kripke?
I support this. I want to, and I think we should do it. I just want to just caveat emptor, which is that there's some political risk here that OANC gets more annoyed and finds other reasons to object. So I hope it doesn't do it, and I do think that there is sort of a principle at stake here that we should fight for. So I'm perfectly willing to do it, but I also think that we should go in eyes open that we're sort of rebutting OANC's judgment about this and moving ahead with the project anyway, and we potentially risk having this amount of funding withheld from our next allocation. But there could be other things that the lawyers raise as objections here. So I just want to notify that. I'm definitely willing to go ahead with it, but I just want other commissioners to be aware.
Thank you. Commissioner Frenzo.
I just want to say we as an ANC have been known to go to bat with OANC on a number of occasions, and I don't see a problem with doing it again. I mean, this is a worthwhile cause. I think the reason for the denial is kind of stupid in my opinion, but I'm not a lawyer, so I will leave it there. But I don't think that should preclude anybody on this commission from supporting it.
All right. Any other commissioners? Anyone else in the community wish to comment or ask questions on this application and this project? All right, hearing and seeing none. Any other things from commissioners before we move to vote on this? All right. Hearing and seeing none, we are going to vote to approve a direct expense in the not to exceed $5,000 amount to Green Spaces for DC. Wait, before I do this, Stella, is it still going to Green Spaces for DC?
Yes. The thing is, though, the checks that go to Capital Nature actually go into a special line item in the Green Spaces for DC account. So it would work either way, actually. If the check or ANC is written to either Capital Nature or Green Spaces for DC, it would still go into the Green Spaces for DC account.
Okay,
so I'm sorry. Either way, I guess works.
We need to have who we're writing the check to in this, what I'm going to say to put in the minutes. So Green Spaces.
Commissioner Paget, I would write it to, go ahead, sorry.
Green Spaces for DC is going to be the payee line on this.
I think that probably would be better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so start again. The vote is on the approval of a direct expense in the amount not to exceed $5,000 to be written to Green Spaces for DC to provide a Cleveland Park Community Tree Engagement Series. All those in favor, please raise your hand or say aye. 1, 2,
Aye.
4, 5, 6, 7, and an eighth voice vote of aye. That is 8-0 to 0 and approved. So thank you very much for all your work, and I apologize again for a little bit of the bureaucracy kerfuffle, although it wasn't really our fault. But thank you for your patience and continued stick-to-itiveness for this. All right, moving on to discussion and vote. Potential vote to approve a grant of $5,000 to Jackson Reed High School crew team to purchase equipment necessary, parentheses, boat, it's a boat, for its rowers to compete in the sport. This one was actually approved by OANC. So Commissioner Kripke, you want to give a brief introduction? We'll get a second and then we'll move to discussion.
Sure. I mean, it's what you described. It's a support for the Jackson Reed rowing team booster club. Rowing is not an official sport of Jackson Reed, so it's a club, and they have to fundraise outside of school. Jackson Reed is our school shed feeds into Jackson Reed, so there's a nexus with our ANC in terms of the students attending, and everybody says the rowing experience has been great and has really helped students. We had a really nice testimonial in our grants meeting. So this is a pretty straightforward thing. Other ANCs have also made this same grant, so it's not controversial, and OANC supports it as an eligible expense. And so I move that we approve this grant.
Second.
Super. Discussion, commissioners? Any questions? I believe we have the applicant or one of the applicants. Chris, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, I just want to say a really big thank you. I'm Chris Lisi. I live in Cleveland Park. Love Cassandra, by the way, and all the amazing stuff that happens in our neighborhood. So thank you. And I have a daughter on the rowing team. And this year we are going to some ANCs because many of our parents, out of our 120 kids who row at Jackson Reed, at least one in several parents' households, two of the parents have been laid off from the government. So we've shifted a significant amount of our large budget to scholarships so that any kid who wants to row gets to row. And so, and it is not an inexpensive sport. As you know, it's not funded by DCPS. And so this one specifically, we have a broken boat, and these boats cost about $50,000 each. And we put a deposit down, but we've been sort of being scrappy in the last couple of months trying to get find the rest of the money so that we could go through with the purchase. So our boys team can make sure that they have enough boats and we don't have to try and spend money renting them, and kids can be on the water every day that they want to be on the water. So big thanks. Really appreciate it. I know Adam and Gawain have really helped keep this moving along. And I think one of our rowers who also lives in the neighborhood, Millie, was on the grants call and kind of made her pitch. And so thanks again. Really appreciate you guys.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Any other commissioners or community members have any questions, comments? Commissioner Nash.
I would just say, as the parent of two girls who rowed, it's a fantastic sport, and I really appreciate what the booster or the booster club or the Friends of Rowing Club is doing to raise money for equipment and for scholarships. I think it's amazing that you have 125 rowers, which is a real testament to the interest and obviously the effort by parent volunteers and coaches who put that into this program. So
thank you. It is not an easy lift, friends. A lot of moving parts, but thank you. Really, this year, this money makes a giant difference. I mean, it will make or break if we're able to buy this next boat. So thank you.
Yeah, I feel like I've had a lived experience because my colleague 2 seats down from me has 2 kids that are also rowers, and I heard all of the things.
It's a lot, everybody. And as you can imagine, we've had quite a year with the sewage in the river. Oh gosh, the boathouse basically falling apart, you name it. But these kids are all going to graduate with grit, as I like to say. So they're going to be fine.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So thanks again.
All right. So with that, and seeing and hearing no other questions or comments, we're going to vote on the approval of a grant of $5,000 to Jackson Reed High School crew team to purchase equipment necessary, boat, for rowers to compete in the sport. All those in favor of this grant, please raise your hand or say aye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yes.
8. 8 to 0 to 0. All right, super. Thank you again for coming to us and asking for our support.
Thanks, friends. I'm going to share our regatta schedule. You guys should come down on a Saturday morning and come watch. It's a lot of fun down in Georgetown. So we'd love it. All right, I'll hop off. Thanks again. Appreciate you.
Thank you. All right, we will now move on to the treasurer's report, where we first will be discussing and voting on the revised QFRs for Q1 and Q2 of FY26. Commissioner Kripke.
Hi, thanks for your indulgence and patience. Just the report itself, there's not much to report except that our check to the Woodland Normanstone Neighborhood Association as part of the grant was cashed in, so that's in process. The thing I want to report on is that I made some mistakes and failed to register some transactions on the OANC register. which they have they did an audit and found this, and so our previous quarterly financial reports for quarter one and quarter two were inaccurate and so I've entered all the information into their system and produced new reports that I want us to approve today. So that's the piece of business that we want to do. I do also want to mention that this has meant that they have been withholding our funding allocations. So I think it's 7,000, might be more, that they're currently withholding until they get the information submitted and these QFRs updated. So I think it'll solve it here. One thing that they've been asking for is more reporting on the grants we've made. So I'm asking the grantees to make reports, which previously only asked them to make a closeout report, but now I'm going to ask them to make interim reports. So every 60 days or 90 days, they'll make a report to us on how they are on spending the funds. So I think that should solve all the problems, but that we've been having and having our funding withheld, and I think that should mean that they release the funding, but we'll see if they find other reasons to withhold our funding. So that's the report and our situation, and why I'm putting revised QFRs in front of you for review and approval here. We still have robust funds in our bank account. As of yesterday, we had almost 20,000 in our checking and 109,000 in our savings. So, and just a last note is that we did approve significantly increased budgets for grants and direct expenses for this year, with the idea that we should be spending down some of this funding, and we're not close to meeting our budgets. We're almost halfway through the year, and we're not even close to halfway through our budget. So really want to encourage the fellow commissioners to be thinking creatively about important things in the neighborhood that need funding support, because we have some funds, and also talking to the community. If you have full ideas, come to us with them, because we have funds. Okay, that's it. I think I want to move to our commissioner chairwoman. Let me know if this is the time to move to approve the QFRs.
Yeah, let's move to approve the revised QFRs for Q1 FY26 and Q2 FY26. Is there a second?
I second.
Cool. All those in favor of approving the revised QFRs for Q1 26 and Q2 26, please raise your hand or say aye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yes.
8. All right. And I want to make a note before we move on, is that Commissioner Kripke didn't really make a mistake. What happens is you have to put the information into these different places and portals. So, like, for example, I send the minutes and I usually CC OANC on all of the stuff that we pass each month in our meetings. So they have the minutes. It's just I didn't go into the OneDrive and go into the portal and put them there too. And then they also said in this email of all these things that were wrong, 2 of the 3 entries that weren't logged properly into wherever this other system is were 2 $5 bank fees, $5 bank charges, and like a $300 something, where OANC had that information and could have just went into the system and added it. Instead, they sent us all of this list of stuff in an attachment PDF of like a memo document, and then said we could request their help to enter the information that now they already had into the place where they knew it goes and where they were looking for it. So just to give like a little bit of a short briefing of, I'm sorry, Commissioner Kripke, I did not want you to take blame for like the ridiculousness that this is and feel like you did something wrong, because it was just silly. So
it is silly.
Sorry,
There's
everyone.
redundant reporting happening. I mean, they're asking for redundant reporting. We send them our bank things, and then we also have to take the information on our bank things and input it into their system. And then we also there's a whole other layer of reporting that they're demanding now. So it's kind of crazy the amount of reporting there on tiny little transactions. So, but anyway, we're gonna do it, and we're gonna make it all work.
Okay.
Well, far
Yeah.
far from blame. I just really want to thank Commissioner Kripke for, the time he puts in. This is a heavy lift, and I really appreciate the follow-up and frankly the tenacity to ensure that needed funds get to our community groups, whether it's on trees or on Jackson Reed rowing. These are important activities, and I know it's a lot of work, particularly dealing with ONC. So thank you, Gowan.
Thanks, Commissioner. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, speaking of getting funds into the community, our next item on the agenda is discussion and vote on utilizing ANC3C Direct Expense funds to be used for various activities and rentals to be used at Woodley House's inaugural spring block party on Saturday, April 11th. The event's going to take place from 3:30 to 6:30 that afternoon on the campus of Maret School at 3000 Cathedral Avenue Northwest. So Dan, what do you have for us? And I'll
Well,
give you co-hosting so you can share your screen if you'd like.
of
And thank you
course.
for bringing this to us, which I think you just invited us to the event. And then I said, happy to help give you monies.
Well, we're happy for all of it. Thank you, Janelle, and it's good to see everybody. Like Janelle said, this is our first planned spring block party. We had previously done, well, we did a little wine tasting last year that some of you were able to join at Sababa, and then 2 years ago we did a 5K in Rock Creek Park, which was a fine event, but it was a lot of work. For not a whole lot of money, and it was outside the neighborhood. So I really wanted to do something in the community, in our ANC, and the folks at Maret School have been just gracious and generous enough to be willing to share the campus with us and allow us to host on Saturday, April 11th. I was thrilled to hear when Janelle said that there could be possibility of some funding for us. So happy to answer questions for you all. I will share my screen. I know I emailed this late last week, but I will share it somehow if I can here. Hopefully this is coming up.
Success.
All right. Sorry, it's not full screen. These are the estimated or quoted expenses that we've got so far. Overall, we had budgeted about $15,000 for the event. Janelle has told me that food trucks are not something that the ANC could cover, but hopefully everything else would be fair game. So we've got really exciting, I don't know if anyone has seen the virtual golf truck from City Swing, which allows people to basically play golf virtually on a giant screen, and they have staff there to help you with your swing, and they also set up a mini golf course outside, and I think they have cornhole as well. So it should be a really nice activity for everyone. We're going to get some game rentals from a company called Backyard Amusements that does a lot of carnival-like games. We're planning to do an inflatable obstacle course. We have an axe throw that's totally safe. It's Velcro, so no one's going to get an axe into them. They've got a high striker, that's the thing you hit with the mallet and it goes up and rings the bell, and a few other smaller games. They're also going to rent the stage. They have a stage rental that we're going to be able to use for live music. I've signed a contract with School of Rock in Cleveland Park. They have a house band with young people who play just like they're professional musicians, but they're young people from the community. They're going to play for an hour. We're going to have musicians from Maret School play for a little bit. We may get another musical group to perform, and that may be something we pay for as well. But then there'll likely be additional supplies, bottled water, balloons, signage, things like that. So that's what we're thinking. It's about $10,000 as I've laid it out. The poster on the left on the screen, you'll see that we're already promoting it, made possible with support from ANC3C. So whatever you decide on this call, we're happy to have your support. And I know Janelle said that there was interest in setting up your friendship bracelet making tables there. We'd love to have you there in participating in whatever way. So Thanks again for this opportunity. I'm happy to answer any questions about Woodley House if you don't know about Woodley House or about the event.
All right, super. Thank you. Um, so commissioners, thoughts, questions, comments, concerns? I'm fairly comfortable with funding all of the list, with the exception of the supplies, like the water bottles becomes iffy and balloons, and then these extension cords, or like, am I gonna have to have them with all the other random stuff that the ANC has purchased for random things? Um, we're running out of space here. I have the whole friendship bracelet kit up in here. And it becomes a little bit of like, who owns that with things like that. But the rentals, oh, the other one is that additional music performance. That could be a little tricky, with like the School of Rock. I'm comfortable with that being like the house band from the community, like makes sense, but to be determined. I'm not as comfortable with, but the rest of the items I think are great and they sound super fun and are in line with what we've funded for past community events via direct expense. So that's why I'm supporting this. Other commissioners?
Yeah, it all sounds great. I mean, to the extent that we don't cause, confusion like what Commissioner Baggett's was talking about with the water bottles and cables and such. I mean, uh, I'm comfortable with moving forward on this.
Well, I think we fund everything less than $900. So the $400 for the supplies and the $500, or am I getting those right? For the additional music performance, and then just approve the direct expenses for less that those two items and those two amounts.
I'm not good at math, but that sounds right.
Unless somebody wants to argue in favor of those things right now. Commissioner
I'll just make this is in my SMD, so it sounds like fun, and I appreciate Maret School being a willing partner. They're a nice neighbor. They put on some great neighborhood events and stuff. So it sounds great to me, and I'm supportive. And I defer to the chairwoman's discretion about what is fundable or not. So, but generally, I think it's great. And of course, we want to be as supportive of Woodley House as we can. So that sounds great to me.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not having to get in a dunk tank for this event, so I'm excited about the golf truck.
Not quite dunk tank weather yet in
True, very true. Um,
Just for context, and in case I think we all know this, but our ANC supported kind of similar entertainment activities for the Woodley Park Day last year. So we paid for some staging and entertainment to support Woodley Park Day in collaboration with the Woodley Park Community Association. So there's strong precedent for doing something like this.
And then Dan, my question is, do you have a rain date and or are these like rentals refundable in any way, shape, or form? Or like how does that work?
We don't have a rain date, unfortunately, because things get so busy in spring. That's really the only weekend Maret and most other folks could do. So in case of really bad weather, Maret will be able to move us inside. Obviously, the golf truck will not move inside, but City Swing does have pop-up virtual golf equipment that they can set up inside. Renting a tent to cover the golf truck in the case of bad weather, it would be 3 times more expensive than the rest of the event itself.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair.
Yeah. So we will move it inside and hopefully people will still show up.
Okay, that's good to know because that gets
a
little dicey for us.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna do math. And are these still estimates? Like, would they need to go much higher than this, or is this like pretty solid.
If you're just looking at the golf truck, the rentals from Backyard Amusements, including the stage rental and then the School of Rock, all of those have been quoted to me, so those are pretty solid.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so 9,605 dash. That didn't work out. Sorry, I just want us to get to like a more exact number to vote on and record in the minutes. Okay, so we're looking at $8,705.14. Okay, cool. I'm gonna make a motion. Oh, I just lost my chat. I'm gonna make a motion that we approve direct expenses in support of the funds be used for various activities and rentals be used at Woodley House's inaugural spring block party on Saturday, April 11th at the Maret School. Those funds of direct expenses would total $8,705.14. Is there a second to approve those direct?
Second.
All right. All those in favor, please raise your hand or say aye. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Yes.
8. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
And in terms of just the logistics of getting the vendors to invoice you directly, should we discuss offline?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm hoping they all take checks because we have to pay via checks.
I'm sure they do.
All right. Commissioner
Dan,
Crippen, have a hand
Dan,
up?
well, I just on that, Dan, let's you and I talk about how to finesse that. Because I'll be writing the checks and figuring it out. So we'll talk offline about that.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, but in the past we were just having them change the invoice so it's billed to us, and
Right.
yeah.
Right.
But sometimes it gets tricky because some of them don't accept checks. All right. All right, so I believe that concludes this evening's agenda. Is there a motion? All right, I motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Till next month, we will see you all around. And thank you all for your time and efforts. Have a good one.